Hey, I want to talk about how 7 billion people can be controlled. That's right, 7 billion people. Um, and it's by one thing, and that one thing is the media. And you think, oh, no, that's not true. I can't be controlled. Well, actually, it is. And I'm going to tell you why. When we talk about the media, we're talking about a billion-dollar industry, a multi-billion-dollar industry that's controlled by a select group. And we're talking about everywhere in the world, but especially in the Western world. And even in the non-Western world, you have media outlets that have English-speaking uh, sections. And for 24 hours every day, pretty much those mainstream media networks will rotate the same stories over and over again. They will deviate just a little bit, but for the most part, it's the same story 24 hours a day. And that's what you're watching, and that's what you're watching every day. And people will say, oh, well, I don't fall for that. I can just change the channel. I just change the channel when I see something. Well, the next channel pretty much has the same thing. And you change it again, the next channel has pretty much the same thing. So people will falsely believe that they're actually thinking for themselves. Your ideas, your values, your health, everything is controlled by that, because that's what you're seeing and believing on a daily basis. What we're seeing now in the world with this situation, we have, I would say, even well over 90%, but at least 90% of the world, without having any evidence, without seeing anything, without feeling anything, they all believe the same thing. And they all believe the same thing about what's going on in the world right now, because of one thing. I saw it on TV. We saw it on TV. That's the only reason. Not because it was in the realm of reality where they smelt it, they felt it, they touched it, they saw it. Only because we saw it on TV or we heard about it on TV. And not only that, they so strongly believe that, which most people in the world, we're talking about 7 billion people in the world believe it. But if you go against that narrative, they will argue and get angry with you, all for something that they just saw on TV. And again, we're talking about a billion-dollar industry. And when I talk about that, we're talking about a few distributors. Each country has distributors, which are the entities that choose exactly what comes out of your TV screen into your living room. For example, you have regular TV, you have cable TV, you have satellite TV. Well, there are just a handful of organizations or entities that control everything that you see from those channels or for those distribution outlets, regular TV, cable TV, or satellite. So if you have satellite TV, you may think, oh, I have 1,000 different channels to choose from. I don't have to follow the same narrative. Well, that one distributor, or those two, like in America, for example, you have what? DirecTV, Dish Network, that's about it. Satellite TV. They control and they decide all of those thousands of channels that they have. They make that one group of board of directors decide which channels. And an example of how powerful they are is the Byron Allen case. If you don't know Byron Allen, look him up. He's an African American entrepreneur in America, and he was suing because he said we have such few distributors in America, and they make the decisions about what America watches, and there are no African American directed programming on any of these distribution outlets. And he says, I want to show some channels that cater to the African American audience, and he could not get anything on Comcast or regular TV, anything, any of his programming to be shown. So he was suing Comcast, but he was going against Comcast, which is connected with the government. So I think he had to settle. I don't know the outcome, but just that much influence. They influence everything you see and what we can see. Just a few major distributors, and I'm sure it's the same way in most countries. One or two, maybe three or four. That's about it. And all of this is happening this year, that just because of what we saw on TV and we believe it, that we've changed everything. And we're almost like in a zombitic trance. We will not believe anything else. And I know what's going on. I'm not going to go into it right here because of the power that these distributors have and how they're connected to what's going on. You say anything against the narrative, you say anything blatant or the obvious, you may not be seen, on any of their channels. So I have to mince my words so I can stay on, so you can listen to what I'm saying. But again, the entire planet is believing something just because they saw it on TV. I'm a big sports fan. Okay, I have to watch sports. I don't watch it anymore now because of what's going on, but I have to watch sports where, for example, baseball games, they have plastic pictures of people to represent fans, because they will not allow fans to go in there because of what they saw on TV or what they heard about on TV. They believe if fans come in there, some magical thing is going to enter their body and they're going to die. Football games, the few people that they do allow in the stadiums are all wearing these stupidity muzzles around over their faces. The coaches are wearing these muzzles. That's what I like to call them. It looks like a horror movie. Forget about what you see every day in stores and on the streets with everyone wearing these muzzles. And again, this is on a 24-hour basis. You cannot avoid it. And again, I'm just talking about this stuff. I just want people to understand. Let's talk about colleges. Have you heard about what's going on college campus? I think of college campuses as places of higher learning, where you're supposed to really use your brain and learn all kinds of different things and think about different things and do research about different things. And you have college teams, groups, organizations where maybe one person sneezes or has the sniffles, and then someone within that organization, whether it's another person in the group, or a coach or a staff member, will report that to the school where so-and-so had a sniffle, and all of a sudden that organization or group is banned from participating in the sport for that year. Or I've heard stories where they've been placed in quarantine, where they've been told they had to stay in a certain dormitory or a room for up to a week or 2 weeks. That is cruel and inhumane, and it's all because of one thing. They saw it on TV, heard about it on TV, even though nobody has a sniffle. No one definitely has died, like they're trying to say everybody's dying, which we know is completely false. Instead of being institutions of higher learning, they're institutions of indoctrination. That's what it is. And again, I think you could turn off the TV. I don't have Facebook. I don't use any of that anymore. I don't watch mainstream TV, the news. I'll go here or I'll go there and finally choose where I get my information from, because right now I don't trust anything. I do not trust anything. And I know that as a planet, we are better than this. More of us have common sense. We're just not using it because we're being controlled by this media giant. And I want everyone to say that, God, I want you to just think say that I can think for myself. I'm not going to fall for this nonsense that's going on all over the world right now. It is pure nonsense. And their goal, when we talk about what those distributors choose to put through your TV screen, is mostly fear, because that's what makes you watch. That triggers your attention, your ears go up, okay? And even if it's a theory, even if they might say, well, this is just some research, you start to believe it's real when it's not. Just ignore it. Studies show, research says this, you shouldn't eat these foods because scientists have found this might be true, and people will adjust the way they think, their ideas, their values, all but based on that. And when they say research shows or studies show, what that really means is nobody has proven anything. Nobody has proven it, and it's just designed to shock you and make you watch, make you buy something, make you change the way, and it all generates dollars, because more people tune in and they watch and watch, and it's generating advertising dollars. Right now, every single story is about a world in chaos. It used to be, the Middle East, or traveling outside of the world. Trick or treating is bad, all that stuff, because we saw it on TV, even though nothing was ever proven. Don't send your kids trick or treating. Well, now we have just this one thing where anybody who has a sniffle, any type of illness, the same illnesses that people have had for hundreds, thousands, millions of years, now are all attributed to just one thing. And we all know what that is. Every single illness is attributed to one thing. We have lost our minds believing what we've heard and seen on TV for the last, 10 months now. And we're walking around with covering our faces with these muzzles, afraid of something that there's never been no proof of. Your local news will start, and you should have known this before all of this happened. It was always a murder story or some type of disaster that happened in the neighborhood or around the world to lead off when the news programs come on. That's to scare you and to shock you, bring up your ears, raise your ears, and make you watch, and you fall for it and you believe it. This causes a reaction of fear, uncertainty, and once they know that they have that, they have attracted you. They have you in their web, and that's what's going on now. So, and the media companies, they know this, okay? They know this, and everyone will say, "Oh, I saw it on TV." Okay? So, please, all I'm saying is turn off the TV for at least for a little while, and don't believe it, because what's going on right now? I don't want to go into, I know what's going on. This is something really bad that's going on, that it has nothing to do with anything that will make anybody sick or any illness. I know what's going on. I'm not going to go into it right here. Do your research. I suggest you. But I definitely know that it's not because of any type of illness. And they're going full strength right now. They're going full strength in some countries around the world, where if you're not awake right now, I don't know what it will take for you to realize that this is not about some type of magical illness. So again, how can you control 7 billion people? Think about it. What you're watching on TV every day is the same thing, and it's designed to control your mind and make you think about things that could not even remotely possibly be true, or impossible or implausible, and you're believing all of it. So I just wanted to give another update, and just say, people, wake up. Just wake up. Do your research.